We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has summoned Chinese Ambassador Wang Xilian to Malacañang Palace to discuss the reported harassment of a Chinese Coast Guard vessel at Ayungin Shoal on February 6. The Presidential Communications Office said Marcos raised concern over China's increasing frequency and intensity of actions against the Philippine Coast Guard and Filipino fishermen. The Department of Foreign Affairs earlier filed its 8th diplomatic protest this year before the Chinese embassy. The DFA slammed the harassment by CCG vessel 5205 against BRP Malapascua at Ayungin Shoal, including the pointing of a military-grade laser. They said China's actions posed a threat to Philippine sovereignty and security and is an infringement on its sovereign rights and jurisdiction over its exclusive economic zone. Meanwhile, the Japanese embassy in Manila also expressed serious concerns over the laser pointing incident at Ayungin Shoal. Japanese ambassador to the Philippines, Kazuhiko Koshikawa, called on all states with territorial claims to respect maritime order based on international law. Last week, Marcos and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida reaffirmed the need to reinforce maritime domain awareness and law enforcement around the East and South China Sea. As the country's farmers continue to adapt to planting hybrid rice, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. sought the implementation of a hybrid rice program to help increase crop production in the country. Marcos met on Tuesday with executives of SL Agritech Corporation, or SLAC, and farmer representatives from Central Luzon at Malacañang Palace to address the challenges in the rice industry. The program will promote the shift to hybrid rice by providing subsidies and facilitating loan financing to farmers. The president agreed to adopt hybrid rice as a better alternative to the inbred variety for increased crop production. For his part, SLAC chairperson and CEO Henry Limbon Leong proposed a conversion of about 1.9 million hectares of rice farming areas to enable the planting of hybrid seeds in 4 years. Aside from strengthening financial support to local farmers through the loan financing program, Marcos also pledged to apply the best practices of Central Luzon farmers to other areas in the country. From January to November 2022, the National Rice Program has served about 1.06 million rice farmers and over 3,500 farmer cooperatives. Meanwhile, more senators are backing the stance of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on charter change. While some lawmakers are pushing to change the Constitution, they believe the president is correct in prioritizing the improvement of the country's economy over charter revision. More senators agree with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. that there are more pressing issues that needs to be discussed rather than charter change. Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva said legislation to encourage more foreign investors is already in place and that the Senate is striving to improve the country's economy. Senator Grace Poe, on the other hand, said the announcement of Marcos's downplaying charter change will most likely alter the consensus on the need for charter revision, while Senator Alan Peter Cayetano pointed out that some proposed amendments to the Constitution are extremely political. Meanwhile, undeterred by the president's statement, Senator Robin Hood Padilla called on to modify some of the economic provisions of the Constitution. While stating no objection to Padilla's action, Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri said the Rules Committee will prioritize the outstanding 19 LEDAC priority bills. Senator Amy Marcos said that while revising the Constitution may be a good idea, it is not opportune considering the country's current situation. The Land Transportation Office has introduced an online motor vehicle registration renewal service via the Land Transportation Management System, or LTMS portal. According to LTO Chief J.R. Tugade, private people, businesses, and organizations can now utilize the portal to renew the registration of their MVS without visiting any of the agency's district offices. The online renewal can be applied to ordinary renewal transactions when the previous renewal was also completed using LTMS. The owner should additionally obtain a certificate of coverage or COC for insurance of their choice, and the vehicle must be brought to the private motor vehicle inspection center for roadworthiness testing. Both the approved insurance and the MV inspection report will be electronically transmitted to the LTMS. Once all of the conditions have been satisfied, the MV owner can enter into his or her LTMS portal account and complete the renewal process, including online payment. Tugade estimates the whole process to take about 5 to 10 minutes, saving vehicle owners from spending the entire day renewing their registration. And that is the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We are also shown on the social media pages of the Presidential Communications Office and on Radio Pilipinas RP1. Stay tuned for more news updates. I am William Theo. We tell stories that inspire change. Good day, everyone.